G'day everyone, Tangent Tuesday number 8. I'm not even going to bother with doing the numbers on my fingers. It's already too confusing for me. It's late for me, I'm getting old. So excited tonight actually. I'm kind of spanning the spectrum. I'm trying to do this, but my image on the screen's reversed. But we're going from, let's just say, not that old, but older and at the younger end of the scale. And it's safe to say that these guys are putting many people to shame. If you did take some time and haven't heard their music before, you would have seen them ripping it up. And even the egg of Ibis I saw today, they've been shredding since, I'm probably guessing, at least 10 years old, but we'll find out. So yeah, if you want to feel completely inadequate with your guitar skills, then go check that out. But in the meantime, I'm pumped. I can see them there, ready. These guys, so I mean, all I've explained so far is psychedelic rock, psychedelic alt indie. I mean, I'm going to call Led Zeppelin more modern references. I would say it's something like maybe Arctic Monkeys or King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard. It's lots of stuff that I love. Big, crazy, soaring guitars, and I'm excited to talk to them. So let's add them to the stream. G'day. Here we are. I can hear you. This is a big result, everyone. We weren't too sure how it was all going to play out technologically earlier today, and even just for me, yet again, just like seconds before this, you can still probably see I'm sweating because weird stuff was going on. I just changed the battery in the microphone, so if I drop audio, you guys just let me know. Now,
can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Now, let's go through. I don't know whether my left and rights are the same as your left and rights, but let's start with the guy in the fancy chair, and then we'll work our way to we'll work our way across to the cheap seats from there.
Yeah. Wow. Let's do it. Wait, what's the question?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Maybe just introduce yourself. Like who you? Oh, yeah. What's your name? What instrument you play? And we'll go from there.
I'm Christian. I'm the drummer of Ibis, and
Nice.
that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Caius. I play guitar and I sing. I'm Dale, and I play the bass guitar. Nice to meet you, Brad. We got two more, but they're not here. We don't know where they are.
Oh, okay. Yes, I thought you were a 5-piece, but that's okay. I wasn't necessarily expecting everybody to turn up, but if they arrive, that's all good, and if they don't, then that's also cool. So you've got so Kai, you on guitar, you do vocals as well, lead vocal.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what do the other two do?
Just bass. I just play bass.
I'm just drums.
Oh no! I mean the missing two.
They're missing two. Less important guitars than Caius's one.
Less important, yeah. Well, I mean they're not here, so basically they've already been relegated to the cheap seats. Or are they hiding? One of them is here, but
no, one of them's asleep. The other one's in Brisbane.
Sleeping in Brisbane.
Okay. We're very spread out at the moment.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit of a strange time at the moment, isn't it? With all of this COVID.
Are you pouring a drink right now?
Karen, yeah. I didn't expect it to be quite as pink as it is, but it sort of fits the theme. See, I have this pink theme on a Tangent Tuesday. You'll see the little pink highlights there, and I even turned these lights on pink.
It looks pretty good.
Glasshouse raspberry sour, local beverage. So I've never tasted it before.
Cheers, Brad.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Right, so now it's kind of a funny one because normally I do this whole bit where I kind of go like, let's go into your Genesis tale. And I still want to do that, but normally people have to like wind the clock back from like 40, 50 years old, like back down to your era, whereas you guys are still relatively young. I mean, young in perspective to me, not to make myself look overtly old, but
don't say Brad.
do you say don't take my top off?
You still look young.
Oh, thanks, man. So, tell us a bit about like, yeah, how did you guys all come to meet? Like, were you all buddies at school, or how did you originally get started?
We were buddies at school.
Yeah, I think I met these guys in like grade 10, and basically just had lunch together every day, and that's how we bonded.
Nice.
Bonded over sandwiches.
Over Sambos, yes, very good.
I'll be back one
And
second.
did you have united musical influences from the get go? Like, were you into the same sort of stuff, or not really?
You go. Well, me and Caius were, because all we listened to for like 4 years was Metallica.
Yeah.
So me and Caius got on pretty good in the same taste. But Christian's a little bit different. But
Yeah.
it all works out. It all comes together eventually. No matter what the taste is, it'll mesh with something. So it's good.
Yeah, yeah. So did you guys know each other in a younger, like when you all like from four, pretty much?
No, we met in high school. Yeah.
Oh, all
we
of
met.
you did.
Yeah. Yeah. I met Dan when we were 12 in high school, and the first week of music class, and he was the Metallica guy, and I was the Metallica guy, so we bonded over that pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, yeah. That'll do it to you.
Yeah.
Now, Caius, are you related to and named after a famous band? So you related people from Caius, the metal band?
I'm not related to Josh Homme, no, but I am named after the band. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, because I love hearing how people's parents, I guess, have had that sort of influence. You know, most people probably don't pop out of the womb. I mean, you don't get a choice at least anyway, about what you're listening to. So your parents were probably listening to Metallica. Like, I'd like to know like the musical sort of influences, because your music to me, and what I loved about it as soon as I heard it, I think was it's like it's something I've been wishing for. I'll be honest. Like, I've had phases where I've thought, are we going to have another version of X, Y, Z? Like, and like I think of like the classics, like say like the Beatles at the tail end of more experimental era, or like Led Zeppelin, or like some of those bands like that I love listening to. So I used to listen to stuff that was like many years earlier than my era, and then I guess my own stuff as well. And the sound that you guys put out, it really has to me a lot of musical heritage. You know, particularly for the age that you guys are at. Like, I find it quite surprising.
That's a very nice compliment, Brad. Yeah,
Oh.
I appreciate that. Well, I think it's very important if you're going to write a song to have as many influences as you can, as many colors on your palette, you know? Because when I was growing up, I listened to Xavier Rudd as much as I'd listen to Pantera, you know?
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. I agree.
That's
That's what I'm.
Christian listens to all kind of stuff. Weird stuff.
I think
Yeah,
between
yeah.
us, we have a pretty eclectic taste in music. Like,
Nice.
I'm more into electronic music, and these guys are more into like heavy metal and stuff. But I think I like jazz and stuff. I think between us, it makes a good mix.
Yeah, nice. Do you like humor each other, or allow each other to, I guess, play those sorts of different styles of music, and kind of go, okay, well, here, like, I'm not normally into jazz, but you're into jazz, so I'll give it a burn, and I'm not normally into metal, but like I'm now
We
in
like,
a metal band.
Yeah.
We like jazz, but some of the shit that Christian plays is the most just out of this world stuff that we have to put a stop to it sometimes. We're trying to get drunk and have a good time, but listen to sounds for like 45 minutes.
Similarly, these guys are always playing. When we're trying to practice, they're playing thrash riffs, and I can't actually drum thrash music at all. So it's sometimes we clash a little bit, but most of all, I think it helps with the creativity. You know.
Yeah, and there's a bit of, you can humor each other a little bit and play around with this and that, but
It all comes to a point, doesn't it?
It does. Sometimes it
Yeah,
does.
it comes to a point where you have to actually make music.
Yeah, the tipping stone. So how many albums in are you guys at the moment? Where are you at?
Well,
How
we've
many-
only technically released one, but it's not an actual album. It's just a bunch of like demos or whatever. But the
Okay.
amount that we've actually written and have planned out is I've got in my bedroom alone is about 6 to 7. But the time it takes to like record and the money and everything and then it's hell. It's hell. We just keep writing. But you can't do
Yeah.
anything with it unless you've got a bit of money. But we have no money.
Yeah.
So we've technically got one album.
Bless you,
Yes.
Dale.
One juicy album.
Sneezing uncontrollably there.
Yeah, I didn't actually. I didn't know that. I mean, it kind of shows like what era we're living in because now music sort of comes out of nowhere, generally off the internet, and you find it whether it's through YouTube or Spotify or somebody or the radio sometimes, but more often than not, it's just coming to you digitally. And so yeah, you really don't know. And I will admit, yeah, I just didn't have time to. I tried. I was like discography.
Right, what the fuck?
It wasn't coming up, but I was like, what's going on? Yeah.
We don't know either.
It must be awkward though, because I mean, I used to find I'd think of like different ideas for businesses, and I used to feel like, oh, like this is the one, you know, like, this is the winning thing, and I have to do it here and I have to do it now, and I still battle with that. But I heard someone much older I am and wiser, I suppose, say that things kind of come and go through the course of your life, and if you've got a feeling, if you've developed that knack, I suppose, or you have a finger on the pulse of sorts, then they use this analogy of buses coming and buses going. So, you know, maybe if you're just constantly writing, you might feel as though like this is a lost moment now because it was relevant to me at the time, but now that bus has left. But rather than having to mourn it and be like, oh, I missed that opportunity, maybe there's another bus coming. Do you feel like that? I know it's a bit of a strange analogy, but does that make any sense?
100%. 100%. The amount of songs we've written from being the age of 15 to now, there's so many old songs that we all love, but we just don't have the money to record.
Yeah.
And so we just keep improving the set list or whatever, and it's just these songs just get lost and completely forgotten. We're like, what happened to that song? And then we're just like, listen to the demo of it, and we're like,
the bus
man,
is
like,
the bus is left.
The bus is it goes, just keeps going. It's scary.
I mean, there must be. There's some like, would there be some you just like, no, that's just too good. I'm hanging on to that, and we're at least going to wait and see how it all falls out. How many of them?
I think it depends how well it translates to our band, because sometimes Kaius will write a song that sounds like it'll work, but then we try it with all of us and it doesn't translate somehow. I don't know.
They haven't got my touch.
Yeah. Ruben Radford is here. Says, cheers, Brad. Dale smokes a mean cig. Yeah, I've been noticing everyone's high quality smoking skills. I mean, I'm sure it's all above board. And
Ruben Radford is like one of our biggest fans, definitely. Yeah. He's always in the chat.
Hey, Ruben.
How's it going, buddy?
He also says, Christian takes a mean piss, So, I mean, he's been there in some special like moments.
Yeah,
we've had some special moments.
We've definitely pissed with that guy before.
Many times.
Funny. Yeah, talk to me about the name, Fight Ibis. I mean, this was another thing I think why I warmed to you guys pretty quickly because, I mean, unless you guys love them and it's kind of this love-hate relationship, but I mean, I think they're quite a disgusting animal. So I think it was a worthy title. But tell me a bit more about where the name came from.
Well,
go on, Christian. It's your turn.
No, I don't even really know the story. I wasn't there when it was named. I wasn't actually in the band when when the name was
I was gonna take
created?
a peek.
Yeah.
He's peeing. It was actually just the song title, and we couldn't come up with anything else. And then everyone was like, "Just call it Fight Ibis." Well, 2 people said that because no one else would say that. And they're like, "Just call it Fight Ibis." And I was like, for literally 6 months, I'm like, I'm not calling the band Fight Ibis. There's no way. And I had nothing else, and it just got called Fight Ibis. It was literally just the song title.
Huh. So nothing against the Ibis at all.
Well, there's a little bit of a story how they raided our campsite when we were camping once and we were like 15. But
Yeah, tell us the story.
I just woke up one morning and we're in Byron camping, and there was just Ibis everywhere. Because we got smashed. So there was bread and everything on the table, and they were all in it, and like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wrote a song called Ibis Fight because they were fighting over food. And then I called it Fight Ibis, and that's the title.
They would be in it. I don't know. They weren't around when I was growing up. I don't know whether it's something like in Queensland, because I grew up in New South Wales. Like, have they been here forever, or are they a new weird species of bird that just has taken over?
Well, we don't know. I honestly have no idea, but I would like to say that we named it before it became cool to hate Ibis.
Yeah, that was cool.
Bin chickens.
Yeah.
There were no bin chickens when we started.
There's no such thing as
Yeah,
bin chickens.
bin chickens, that's right. Don't they call them some of the rats of the air or something like that as well? They're
Yeah.
disgusting. I kind of feel a little bit sorry for them. Like, each time I see them, it's kind of like I have a bit of disgust, and then I kind of feel a bit sorry because I'm like, well, they always do those stories about like when God was handing out bits and pieces, and it's like, okay, and then there's the animal, and we're going to make a bird, we've got some legs, put some wings on, and it's like, okay, let's just put like a ball sack on for a head, and then we'll just put this big horn on the front there. It's a bad deal. Like, when you've got a ball sack for your head, it's not good.
Imagine having a ball sack on your head.
Very unfortunate. Yeah.
I'm not an advocate for hating them, though. I think that they're a proud species, and as long as you're proud of yourself, then what more can you really ask?
Yeah.
They used to be tropical. They used to be a tropical bird, and then we destroyed them, and they had to adapt, and now we hate them for that as well.
Oh,
they can't win. They cannot win.
No, they've lucked out a little bit. Oh well. Now, you guys it strikes me that you guys have a fair bit of fun, which is something else I also like. I'm a very immature 41-year-old. I've not gone...
We're very immature 23 to 24.
We're drinking adult beverages. That's very mature.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, poured from a mug. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Smoking healthy substances, I'm sure.
Dale makes a mean cocktail.
He does.
It sort of looks like, because I was really fired up to try and get into making a lot of music videos and things like that when I first decided to launch into doing video production work at the start of last year. And then I unfortunately came to fairly quickly realize that some of the same things I loved about musicians, I also kind of despised about them, because, musos are kind of very fickle people, and it's like one second they're like, yeah, let's make a music video, the next second they're like, no, we won't. And so there was a bit of that going on, and then lots of people, unless they've all of a sudden become Katy Perry or what's the other bird with all the cash, makes the fancy music videos,
Cardi B.
Oh no, but that's quite. I find that traumatizing. But yeah, unless you're those people, you're not spending much money, so you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna have to just let that slide. Now, you guys seem to have taken a different approach, which is basically let's just do it ourselves and make it kind of crazy. And I would say, I don't know, I find it seems to work. Like, you've almost probably done so much of it now that it could be hard to depart. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the funnest parts of being in a band is getting to spend like a couple of weeks trying to make a video that seems like it could be funny enough or just enjoyable enough for the song, and then it's like sentimental when you finished it. but also kind of still want to strive to make it better. So eventually we're gonna have to go Katy Perry and start looking lollipops and wearing
Yeah. You know, there's
Right.
plenty of time left, isn't there? Fluffy,
Yeah.
fluffy clouds with waterfalls and
Yeah.
things
I
like
would like
that.
to look like that. I would like to be there. So
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the whole idea of music was doing stuff that you wanted to do, not what people want you to do. And so that's
Yeah.
what we do.
yeah,
We make our own videos. That's what we want to look at. Or
Yes.
to an extent, it's pretty stupid, but we make the music we want to do because we like that kind of music, you know. We don't want to
Yeah.
sing about drinking beers on the beach. You know.
we want to make a
Yeah.
little story for a little doll and spend weeks looking at it
Yeah.
to the point where it gets weird.
I think it's just about being real. And as stupid as it is, and that's what we try to do.
Yeah.
We are
100%.
stupid. We're very stupid people.
Look, I think maturity is vastly overrated. I mean, I don't know. My wife probably would hate to hear that, but like, I don't see a huge amount of value in it. You know, like, I mean, you got to be serious and be passionate about what you're doing. I think it's important to be driven and like motivated, and so you know. But you guys have that, right, in terms of your individual music pursuits. You can tell you guys are true musos and people who love the art and the craft of what you're doing. So you have that. There's no need to be too serious in between. Like, life gets pretty stressful, particularly as you get older. So I think it's good just to have a good sense of humor and have a bit of fun.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
take writing music seriously, and we want to make it as good as it can be. But everything outside of that is just who cares, you know?
Yeah. So what would be your major musical influences? Like, if I was to go through the chain, going from Christian, what would you say? Like, growing up, like, did your parents have a big influence on what you now, like? What's the story there?
Somewhat.
My dad was playing in a band for about 5 years, I think.
Great band.
Yeah, his band was called One Trick Pony,
Nice.
and yeah, so he did have a big influence on me. I used to like watch him practice with his band in the garage when I was little, growing up, and yeah, he
What
sort
was
of
his
introduced
style?
me to. His like main influence was Radiohead, I think, and he
Okay.
sort of introduced me to Radiohead and lots of cool bands like Smashing Pumpkins and all that.
Nice.
So, yeah, he had a big influence on me, but I don't know about these guys. Yeah.
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 How about you guys?
It's all the same answer, really. I think it's really hard to pretend that you're not influenced by Black Sabbath when you're 8 years old or 9 years old or whatever. And then that extends to bands like Metallica, Alice in Chains, and Smashing Pumpkins and stuff.
Yep.
It's just a natural progression, really. And then you find stuff in the new generations to relate with, and then
Yep.
sort of try to maybe fit in a little bit
Yeah.
with those bands like Parquet Courts or Ty Segall or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like what makes you want to make music is it's usually stuff like Black Sabbath or Radiohead or when you're a kid, what your parents are
Yeah.
listening to. And we all had cool
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah. That's a good plus. How about you, Dale?
I'd have to really say the same. When I'm from England, so everything that I heard was the radio was a bit different. Like, as far as I can remember, hearing stuff on the radio and hearing my mum sing it and stuff, I always kind of hated it. But then when I came over here and then I'd hear those songs every now and then, I get like goosebumps because I haven't heard it in so long. I'm like, this song is actually fantastic, and you don't realize the influence it has until you've like revisited it, sort of, and then it's really nice. Now I look like Blur and stuff and Madness, like there's a whole bunch of bands that I just didn't realize that had a lot of influence on me.
That's a good point, though. Is the first album most of us bought was either Gorillaz or Blur, which is Damon Albarn or whatever his name
It's
is.
all the same guy, same lead.
One guy.
man.
So true.
All that first album.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think that's
There
pretty
you
cool.
go. Huh. I didn't actually know. I did not know that because like I wasn't much of a Blurs fan, but I definitely liked Gorillaz. So I didn't know it was the same.
Are you? You're an Oasis guy, aren't you? Because it's the battle, Oasis or Blur. You're Oasis, aren't you?
I don't know.
I'm
I
an
did
Oasis.
have an Oasis album. I actually swapped my Oasis album, but this is almost even more embarrassing. Not that all of Oasis music is embarrassing, but I swapped my Oasis album for a Creed album with my brother-in-law. So yeah, I know. I don't know. It was just there was something happening. It was a phase. I was like, no, I've had enough of
It's worth the adventure.
that. Sometimes you need to separate. Like I think what you were saying, Dale. Like sometimes you need to like be separated from something for a while and then appreciate it. There's heaps of music that like I just didn't get into when I was younger, and then I've listened to later. I've gone, wow, it's amazing, or like, why didn't I buy that album? You know, when we were buying albums, and I love it. I mean, I've enjoyed. By the time I was 16, I reckon I really was interested in digging into like the history of music, particularly rock, and so I got really sort of interested in like Hendrix and the Doors and lots of kind of people, all the classics from that sort of era. And I feel like you guys have got this nice little, as I was saying earlier, a bit of a time traveling sort of spectrum there. There are elements within the music that I feel have carry, particularly the guitar playing, carry a lot of those different components. And I mean, in a modern spectrum, I suppose to me, like I'm not as on the pulse nowadays though. So I don't know all the latest bands out, but I've felt like maybe Arctic Monkeys and King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard were like relatively close comparisons. I mean, who do people tend to compare you guys to at the moment?
That's probably a good in between. Probably.
Yeah,
because
we get the King Gizzard references a lot. I mean, like people comparing us to King Gizzard, and I think that's a big compliment because King Gizzard are one of the only bands that come to mind. It's the first band that comes to mind when I think of bands that are pushing rock music forward. So I think it's nice to be compared to them.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Good point.
Yeah.
But
I hate the comparison.
But yeah, Kais doesn't like it. And, like I listen to a lot of King Gizzard, but I feel like there's so much. Well, like I guess it is like a more relative comparison, but I just feel like there's so much stuff that people don't realize that King Gizzard
Branches
sound like too. No, I don't think so.
No, I just like try to like mix it around a little bit every so often. And plus, like Dale's kind of like I felt like he's back. You know, I was trying to give him like some more like airplay. You know, to bring him forward a little bit. You know.
Okay, let's go on a little bit closer.
No, actually, I mean, it's whatever blows your hair back, but I find it just, you know, it's kind of interesting having a little dynamic. Now, I feel like I've neglected the people in the comments. Sorry, guys. I get distracted with trying to talk to the people who I'm like talking to. It's already hard enough. Stuart Norman says, when is Mutants released?
The 7th of October.
That's
not
probably
online. Is it online?
I think it's probably not.
Probably.
It'll
not
be
too
on
far.
Spotify.
There you go. There's a little note. Take a little notepad out now. Go put up a little note now when Mutants is coming out. Hang on. Maybe I should read this before I put up. Hang on. What's he going to say?
Oh, Ruben's written a wall of text.
He's written something. Don't think anything too offensive in here. Hang on. Literally, as Fight Ibis rocked up, so too did the bin chicken meme and all these Ibis hating posts. They truly gave Ibises the worst rep, which is something no other bands have done for a bird. True. Yeah.
That's what. Thanks, Ruben.
It's all we got.
Yeah.
It'd be an amazing piece of history if it just happened to be that there was nothing really terribly offensive or wrong with the Ibis, or maybe nothing even terribly wrong with even feeding them, let alone. And then because of you guys emerging on the scene at that exact moment, it just spun things in that trajectory. And then like later in decades down the line, they're like, actually, we've realized that the Ibis is perfectly fine and we don't have to worry about these things. It just happened to be there was this one little band who popped out of the woodwork, back in late 2000 and something or other, and just span everything completely.
I don't want it to be our fault. I don't want it to be our fault.
It's a good compliment if it was true, but it's definitely not. I think it's weird coincidence.
Yeah, that's a shame.
They can't get past the
Is it our fault? You tell me right now, is it our fault? Because if it is...
No, I don't think so. I think that testicle helmet is always going to be... They were doomed for failure from the get-go. Once they had that testicle helmet and the big beak... Here's a fun fact, although I don't even know if I should share it. I don't want to cause any problems with people like traumatizing animals, but if you give them a Jat Salada, like a Ritz cracker for people overseas, if you also have bin rats or whatever chickens we're calling them, bin chickens, it just doesn't fit in their mouth, and so like they try and chomp it, and it just goes up and down the beak, and it's just like round and round the beak. It's quite entertaining to watch, right? Really. Yeah. Anyway.
Wait, so you tried to feed an ibis? That's true.
I tried to feed it a biscuit. I was trying to be nice, but then it couldn't actually eat it, and then I was like, oh, okay.
See, they don't whip anybody, and they just scavenge. They just go into the garbage and they scavenge. They don't do anything wrong. Like
they clean up our streets.
They clean up the streets.
No,
everyone hates them.
Once I was at Dreamworld and my friend's hot dog got stolen out of his hand by an ibis, and that's a fact.
That's definitely not. That's not on.
Yeah, that's true.
They're a tougher breed there, Dreamworld ibis.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stuart Norman says, "Do you have the doll?" It seems interesting. Do you have the doll? What's the story behind this?
I think he's talking about the doll from the Dorothy film clip.
Is he?
But I am on the doll. I don't know.
Stuart Norman, are you talking about the doll from the Dorothy film clip?
Can I borrow some money? Follow-up question.
Oh, Ange Williams says, that's my boy. Hey. Is this one of your mums?
That's my mum. Hi, Mum.
Oh, g'day, Mum. How you going?
No hands.
That's my boy. Oh, so proud. And my friend Ashley McCool, and First International that I'm aware of from the States, she says, awesome. Oh, these are little notes, tunes. She's a big fan of lots of things I like. There were actually notes, but just not very well represented on StreamYard. What do you think of System of a Down? Because I know that she loves System of a Down.
System of a Down, yeah.
They're cool. I like them.
Yeah.
Love System of a Down.
When I was in primary school, me and my best friend did a lip sync of System of a Down, and it had we were gonna win the whole lip syncing competition, except that it had the word suicide in it, and so we got disqualified from the whole thing.
Rob.
Anyway.
That was it. It was cut. It was so close to victory, and then gone.
Bringing the issue to the front.
I used to be a big fan of them, anyways. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, they're awesome. Like, I mean, more people probably would be big fans if they would release another album. I went on last night just going, hang on, maybe it's time. And I think it's been maybe 10 years since their last album, so I was like, come on, seriously, like, it's time.
Yeah.
Now, good news for you guys, just fresh off the plate. Stuart Norman says you can borrow some cashola.
Hell
I don't know. I'm not too sure how safe it is to retrieve the cash, but I mean that's and I don't want to be part of that, so I'm not encouraging that.
I'll message him later. We'll sort it
out. Ruben says Stu's talking about the Dorothy doll. Lol. You're reading the comments about 60 minutes late. Yeah, I am. I have to explain that. I have to explain that.
Yeah, that's true. I thought it was the Dorothy doll.
Calm down, Ruben.
I don't think we have it anymore. I don't know where it went, but it's missing.
Just don't listen to Ruben. Is all we can really say. You know?
He's a flight risk. I mean, I can already see it. I mean, As soon as you don't have clothes on in your profile picture, that's already the beginning signs of trouble.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
So let's put this guy into perspective, seeing as how he's putting out so much heat here. Where does he fit into your spectrum?
He's on the spectrum.
He's
Friend or just super fan?
he's a friend.
He's a friend. He's
Nice.
just a lot.
That's nice.
He's been to a lot of our like early gigs, and he was like the first person who like bought a shirt off us, and he actually got covered in blood because he got like beat up.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know why he got beat up.
Yeah,
It's a powerful statement.
it was a pretty crazy photo that he sent a photo of the shirt and it was just covered in blood. It was epic.
Hopefully
This
it's
is
a
what
true. Hopefully it's actually a true story. He didn't just like cut himself, like, because then it
No,
all changes.
it's
Trust me, if you knew him,
you know this guy, he gets beaten up.
He's just that sort of guy.
He's a nice guy though. I like him.
hey
Yeah, he's a
Ruben,
nice guy.
love you.
Love you, Ruben. Oh, he's stripping it down now. He's gone from big post to small post. I see what's happening. Right. So, what's going to be the battle plan from here? Like, where do you guys go? Like, how does it all happen? Like, are you going to ride this COVID thing out for wave like 15 and 16, or are you going to just try and release something officially sooner? Do you save your dollars and master something? What do you think will be the next plan?
I think it's a good time to put out music, honestly, because everyone's just sitting around inside and just waiting for something new to listen to, and
Yeah.
everyone's just like getting hyped to go back to see gigs live, and I don't know. I think it's a good time to release music.
And we're a COVID-safe band, and that's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wash our hands before every gig, every riff.
Before every riff, as long as you still stay in the same house, we'll just pretend you're like 1.5 meters apart or a towel length distance. I read on the paper today somewhere, the servo. Ruben, even he says himself, I do get beat up heaps. Oh, dude.
Yeah, Ruben.
He's probably just a man who speaks his mind. Like I had a little weird era. Like I honestly like think I'm probably the softest person on the face, one of the softest people on the face of the planet, and I've always been like I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know, like I'm a dancer, not a brawler or whatever, and never like want to cause people harm. But I just have a very low tolerance threshold for just dickheads, basically. And so then once I started going out and about, you're running into more of these people, you know. And I'd find myself out at a bar somewhere, and some dude just be being a real knob, and then I would probably just be drunk enough to say, dude, you're just being a bit of a dick, you know. And then if there's one of those wrong types of guys, they'll be like, okay, man, that's it, you're a It can all turn south, unfortunately, fast if you're not careful. If you can't keep your mouth shut, which I'm not good at. Yeah.
Yeah, in Ruben's defense, he is one of those people as well. He'll never start a fight, but he gets into them. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're not fighters. We're the same as you.
I don't think we've ever been in a fight.
No.
I don't think. No, we've never.
I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Never been in a fight.
Yeah. No, you guys seem pretty chilled out. I like that. It's nice. Now, musically, do you think like this is it now? Like, because by the time you're mid-20s, you're probably fairly well set in a trajectory of musical style, I would imagine. Like, so this kind of like rock, psychedelic rock, alt pixie hugging, toe tapping jam, whatever you refer to it as. Is this hug a pixie, tap a sister? Is this your lane now?
It is at the moment.
He's the guy. Kai writes all the songs. Really,
Right.
like
Yeah.
he's the main, he's the chief. I back him up. I make him feel good about what he's done,
Even if it's shit.
even if no.
Even when it's shit.
But there's no telling what will happen. I'm just gonna make sure that he keeps his head in check and he keeps doing what he's supposed to be doing, because he's writing. Well, I personally like what he writes, and that's why I'm here to play with him, because that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
It's been like that for a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that we don't turn to like a Metallica where you're good at the start and you fall flat on your ass after 15 years. But I think as long as there's a point where you're gotta worry about yourself, you know, and what we do. At the moment, I think it's translating really well what we want to do. It might not in the future, but that's okay as well.
As long as you don't down your, it'll be right.
One thing I'd say, man, is I think this is a bit of a bold prediction, and I wish I just had the dollars to back it up. But I feel like we're now at this kind of inflection point in time, and courtesy of technology, where because there's like maybe 7 or 8 billion people around the planet, that you don't need to have 7 or 8 billion people all wanting to listen to your tunes and paying dollars to buy merch or however else the dollars come in. You just need a few thousand, right? And so if you could get your music out across a wide enough base of people, or like get deep within some channels of musical style that you guys excel in, I think you could be on a pretty solid thing. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Like I would think like Facebook marketing and like just some of those targeting avenues, because now you can find like people who are like they're interested in like just get someone, people like Led Zeppelin, or like, because there's so many people like me and older who loved stuff of a certain style and then just thought it was gone. You kind of just think that, and you guys will be old enough already that you probably had certain music come into your life and then feel like it's drifted by and that's it. Like the greats of that time are already gone. And that's one of the things I think I was touching on earlier that I got excited about listening to your music, is it has a genuine feeling of like what I imagine maybe it was like when those bands were coming out, which I think is really exciting. So I think there are a lot of people out there who it could resonate well with.
Well, that's a great compliment. Firstly, that's a great compliment, because that's all I really want to do.
You're a nice complimenter, Brad.
Great complimenter. You've really brushed up on your compliments.
That's what,
Brad.
Yeah,
that's all we
it's just something that comes naturally to me. Hey, I'll let you guys. It doesn't always actually. That's not quite true, is it? Really, that's contradicting my own sentences from before about getting beaten up for telling people they're dickheads. Ultimately, here, let you read Ruben Radford's comment. Can you read this? It's a risk. I'm just putting it straight up. Can you see it?
There's a point where you got to cut this guy off, and I think it's right now.
Is this the bit just before he gets beaten up?
I'll see you at Soul Bar October 24th, Ruben.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Peace out, Ruben.
I think he's asking for an invitation.
Triple J,
There's
number
a spectrum,
one.
and he's alright.
He's allowed to come. He's allowed to come out. Yeah.
Brushed over the spectrum.
We don't care about Triple J anymore.
They don't want us.
I thought it might. Appreciate the shout outs. Hang on. No, this is good. I think there's some goodness in here. I want to try and see if I can weed it out. Something about not this hairy nippled dude who can't even rep a shirt for his profile pic. This has been a terrific interview, and I've watched hours and hours of Jimmy Fallon. Far more genuine. Thank you, man. I mean, that's probably the only thing I've probably got going in that fight. Like if it was me versus Jimmy Fallon, it's pretty much I'm a pretty down to earth dude, I think. And I mean what I say. Trying to
You get proud of that compliment too, if it's coming from Ruben.
Ruben's a genuine dude. He's a genuine, lovely guy and a genuine dickhead. But they know.
The Finger Pistols, music video is quite interesting. So, who was the genius behind that?
Well, the song is about like I made it about it was a teacher that is gonna kill all his students or something, or something. I don't really remember. But then I thought the video should be a bit more fun, and
Yeah.
about like this,
Lighten it up a bit.
yeah, because it's pretty dark. But it should be about a teacher just having a good time. And I was like, I don't want it to just be me, so I got Dale and Eric, who's also in the band, to just dress up as teachers, and we pretended to get spiked or whatever.
Mm.
And then we just did
nothing you guys would know anything about, I'm sure.
No, we usually do that to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, okay, now, I was just thinking about it, just because I was running, sometimes you run a little bit of dialogue through your head. Mostly I just do it off the cuff, as you might have figured out. But I was just sort of thinking, now, like, what sort of person would come up with the concept of having a film clip where people all of a sudden, like, take magic mushrooms, who hasn't been someone who's taken magic mushrooms? I was thinking the percentage chance has got to be pretty low, I feel. So I'm not gonna just, we don't have to narrow things right down, but I mean, let's just yeah. But let's tie things to that, and like, your self-confessed psychedelic kraut. Is the kraut, and where's the kraut come from? Is there someone got some sort of Croatian background?
No, it's because when we jam, we don't know what to do, so it just keeps going, which is like kraut. Kraut music just keeps driving and driving, and then when we jam, we don't know what to do, so we just keep going and going and going and going. And that's where it's from. But the whole idea of the Finger Pistols video was because I felt bad for a lot of teachers, because I actually liked a couple of my teachers in school. I thought everyone gets a bad reputation. I mean, a lot of teachers get a bad reputation. Like the Smells Like Teen Spirit video by Nirvana. It's all about hating that kind of stuff. And I wanted to do the opposite of that. Make them look like they're having a good time. And
well, they definitely look like they're having a good time. And maybe, more identifiable with the with the youth. And it's funny because I grew up, my dad was a primary school principal, and so I used to regularly be going to these teacher parties, right, and seeing teachers, and like I'd see somebody who and particularly in rural Australia, like in my youth, like it was much more formal, kind of like most teachers were, like shirt and tie type sort of thing. And you'd see the same guy, like Mr. Gibson or whoever it might be, who all the other kids would think is a respectable member of society. But you'd see that same person, like, just after like lunchtime at a barbecue, go to take a seat at their chair and like miss the seat altogether and just like fall on the ground, that sort of thing. So
that's the point. It's teaching people too. Except there's a lot of shit out there.
Yeah. Well, and other people in
behind
positions.
The scenes of
You don't have to
serious
come
teacher personalities.
I'm sure your dad was a good principal. I believe that.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. Thanks for that compliment. You're a very good complimenter. Yeah, Mr. Houston. That's it. Angela Williams says I'm doing a great interview. Thanks, Angela.
Oh, there you go. You deserve that one.
She's my mother, and we think alike, and I'm thinking the exact same thing. I'm having a great time.
Having a great time. No, it's good.
We shouldn't even ask questions. We should just be complimenting each other.
It's tricky though. I don't know you guys well enough. I mean, I think I might run out of material after a little while. I mean, the room you're in is nice. You've got a nice. It's green. I like that sort of. It's like a reindeer motif or something on the glass in the background. That's pretty special.
Yeah. This is Christian's room.
Thank you. That was my interior design choice. I really appreciate that.
What do you have in the background? It looks like a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Well, use your skills. This is compliment hour now, or not hour. I mean, let's call it compliment. 5 minutes.
Well, a wrestling ring would be a compliment.
It looks like
I love WWE. WWE.
It looks like a.
And if you got a wrestling ring in your living room,
I don't. Unfortunately, not. No.
What is this?
This is my office. Now, which bit? This part?
Yeah, the white bit, the white string bit.
Nets.
The screen's really small. You can't really see.
Okay. Yeah, this is a marble roller coaster. So this is showing my maturity. So I don't know. I like roller coasters. and random things, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could have like a miniature roller coaster? So I kind of was roughly looking around for one, but not too seriously. And then I went into the game shop in Caloundra, and at the top, behind some sort of other stuff, there was this box with like Asian letters all over it, and they had this wacky space tech, what do they call it, roller coaster you had to build, which is almost impossible. Particularly, the instructions are all in a foreign language. But yeah, so it's just a marble roller coaster, which most people have, I'm sure.
We'll wait till we turn 40 and we might go in.
Oh, by that stage you might grow out of that sort of thing. I mean, I've got the Millennium Falcon over here. That's Jimi Hendrix
Is it a mirror?
You can totally see Jimi Hendrix.
neon.
Very
No,
nice.
it's actually. Make sure I don't rip my headphones out. I just did this to myself the other day. Oh. You guys might know
is
these
that
guys, because huh?
Oh, it's not a mirror.
It's not a mirror.
No, it's actually a vinyl record that's been machined into Hendrix. They've cut away the bits and pieces. I don't know. You guys might know that. Do you remember going to the markets and seeing this? Like people at the Caloundra markets would have these and other things like this.
I didn't know it was vinyl, though. I feel like I've seen it before, but I didn't know it was that.
Yeah, it's actually machined. It is a Hendrix record, not a terribly famous one, but it's machined out of the record. So,
That's pretty cool.
and I just happened to have an ultraviolet light for no great reason that I shine onto that. So, there you go. And I don't think we're going to make 5 minutes of compliments, guys. Let's just move on from that. So, tell us more. Like, seeing as how the other two people, aren't here. Let's share some stories that they probably don't want the world to know. What don't we already know about? I mean, and when I say we, I'm going to incorporate everybody who's ever interviewed you ever before, and maybe even some of your super fans here. Ruben loves my Japanese wall divider. Thanks, Ruben. Scaling up his interview game. All right. We just finished interview 5-minute time, but we'll see how you go. Yeah, so tell us some of the stories about the people.
So much to say.
Because,
Come on,
I work,
start with the bad stuff and work you out.
Alex is our friend, first of all, and I work with him most days. He's a baker, so he's asleep right now.
Oh,
And
that's
he's going
why.
to
I just thought he was just in a weird time zone.
No, he's
he is technically.
Yeah, but yeah, he goes to work in like 5 hours or something like that.
Yes.
And the other one, Eric, he's a very good friend too, of course.
Great guy.
And he lives in Brisbane, and he studies jazz and all sorts. They're all doing. He's doing interesting stuff. Alex is busy working, and we're just sitting here, hanging out. Talking to you, Brad.
We're the losers of the band.
Oh.
We don't really do.
Not
I
saying that you are.
felt special for a second, and then I was like, "Oh wow,
This is the
is
highlight.
like now it's like, we're just the losers. We don't have anything else better to do, so here we are."
You're gonna talk to the other two.
Next time, it's those two all the way. I take everything back. Stuart Norman says, I have a Marley record in
In the same style.
Same style.
That's cool.
Here comes Ruben with his compliment game again. Christian's hair is lovely. Brad, your hair's lovely too. I don't have much, but thank you. Big surprise. Thought you were bald. Oh, hang on. Now he's back on it until the funky head turn a while ago. Interesting. And you made them cigs look delightful. Yes, indeed. Mystery cigs. Christian's drinking out of my all-time fave me goreng making device. Is that the jug? And your roller coaster makes it a compliment city. Ah, look, wow, you just got it right. I mean, and Ruben, may I say that I don't think it's a top knot, but like you've got that. Who's the guy from Bill and Ted? I should know more. John Wick. Mental blank.
Oh, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu, you've got the kind of like stunned Keanu Reeves sort of Bill and Ted look going just down pat. So you keep rocking that. I mean, it was good back in my day, and it may have slid for 20 years, but you've got it happening now.
Now that you told him that he's Keanu Reeves, he's gonna rock up in a trench coat, and it's gonna be a nightmare. Trying to link everything.
Start Shinville. What's the funniest thing that's happened? Let's actually, on a serious note, before we run out of time, because time is dwindling. We've got about 4 minutes or so. But I feel like we've just gone in circles of madness instead of talking in too much detail about anything that you guys have done from a musical perspective. But talk to us about some of the festivals you played. Like, what's been the highlight for you guys so far?
Maybe Jungle Love Festival was a highlight.
Jungle Love was really good.
Nice.
Was that
What was that?
2018?
2018 in December in like Imble area, was it? Was it
It's around
Imble? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. We got to play at like 9 o'clock on the main day,
Wow.
and there was so many people. I had bruises on my feet the day after from stomping so hard against the stage. It was just
Nice.
such a good day.
But also the big pineapple.
Yeah.
Just standing backstage with like easy death rays and watching the Veronicas while we were getting smashed. It was amazing.
And getting my hair played with by Veronica.
He got his hand played with by the Veronica.
Oh,
There
so
was
good.
nothing else I could imagine. Perfect.
That's a
It
good
was a rock
moment.
star.
Rockstar moment. Yeah. They're just like patting you, like little, like, hey, little, like Led Zeppelin men. Hey, little
I was
Led
like,
Zeppelin guys.
It's great.
It is good. There's a lot to be said. Yeah, a lot to be said for some of those special moments at festivals. A festival's one of my favorite things of all time, I think. And I find it so strange when I meet people, and you've probably met these people too, where they hate festivals. Like, to them, they're just like, oh, I went to this festival. Like, sometimes you meet someone, you haven't actually met them, but they're talking in your vicinity, and then you can tell they're having this conversation that you immediately know you're living in completely parallel universes, because they're like, I was at this festival, and it was horrible, and it was so crowded, and the people were all, like, jumping around, and the music was so loud, and you're like, I love all those things.
Yeah.
That's what we're there for. Don't go otherwise. You don't want to deal with that stuff. Don't even go. You know what I'm saying? Don't even go.
What would be the best? What would be, like, if you could play any festival, like just daydreaming here now? Like, yeah, Glastonbury. Okay, well, it's probably high there. And what next? Like Burning Man? That's probably like pretty high up there.
Burning Man. Do they have? What even happens at Burning Man?
I don't even know what that's about.
I just picture a bunch of sandy orgies. That's all. I don't know anything about Burning Man.
I don't know. I think there's all sorts of crazy shit that goes on out there in the desert. I'm pretty sure that has to have some.
I'd like to see what happens there. Sure.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, standing orgies not for everybody. I think that's pretty much it's gonna rule out a few people. But could be polarizing. Polarizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Henry, you smoke now. Oh, does Angela Williams normally have an Asian accent? I'm trying to read that properly.
Yeah, his mum doesn't know that he smokes.
Oh no! Oh, because I was like, "Hey Henry, you smoke now?"
Yeah. I appreciate the cover up, Mum.
Oh, Mum. Snuck in early for the Piney gig, Stuart Norman. Just bringing it out there.
It's just my parents.
He jumped the fence. Just even though he had a ticket to jump the fence.
It's so good. I mean, I can understand that. There's a lot to be said for it. It's a bit like, I just don't want to just completely discredit myself altogether here, but it's a bit like buying beer when you're younger, like when you're actually old enough to buy beer, it's nowhere near as exciting as buying beer when you're younger, or so I've heard, anyway,
No, it's not exciting anymore.
Yeah.
It's just something that we did.
Just something we do. Hey, thank you so much, you guys from Fight Ibis. It's been a whirl, and I've loved having you guys with us, and everybody else, Ruben, and Angela and everybody else. And I'm sure we'll chat again at some stage. I'll definitely be tracking what you guys do, and I can't wait to see what you put out musically and get to a gig sometime.
Thanks, Brad.
We love you, Brad.
We appreciate it. This is fun.
This
Yeah.
is a
Hooroo!
great time.
I can't say
Call us.
hooroo from Guru. Oh, bye guys. Bye. Hugs. Oh, they're gone. Oh. And on that note, so are you guys. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.